Imagine walking into the world's most famous museum and seeing something your culture still considers taboo. Everywhere. No warnings, no reactions, just silence. Millions visit the Louvre every year. And yet, nobody questions it. Why? Is it art, or something we were never taught to understand? By the end of this video, you'll see these sculptures differently. Not as shock, but as something far deeper. For a fleeting moment, a small jolt runs through you. A flicker of surprise, maybe even a touch of discomfort. It's an almost instinctual reaction, a modern reflex encountering an ancient form. After all, nudity in our world is a complex and often private matter. It's something we typically shield from the public eye, reserved for intimacy, or something that gets flagged and removed from our digital feeds. We are conditioned to associate it with vulnerability, with the personal, not with public exhibition. So the question naturally arises, sharp and clear in the quiet of the gallery. Why is this statue here? Why is this unabashedly naked form placed on a pedestal, celebrated, and put on display for all the world to see? This question hangs in the air, a silent conversation between our contemporary values and the silent stone figure. It is a modern question meeting an ancient object, a clash of centuries in a single glance. But as you look around, you notice something. The initial shock you felt is not the dominant feeling in the room. In fact, it seems to be absent entirely. There is no sense of scandal, no awkwardness. Only a profound and shared sense of calm. People are not gawking. They are observing. They are studying the graceful lines, the impossible softness of the carved marble, the sheer skill required to breathe such life into stone. They are admiring the artistry. They take pictures, not as a transgression, but as an act of preservation, a way to remember the sublime beauty they are witnessing. They are capturing a piece of history, a masterpiece that has captivated humanity for generations. It becomes clear that inside the hallowed walls of the Louvre, the rules of the outside world are suspended. The context is everything. Here, the human form is not merely naked. It is a canvas for exploring the highest ideals. It is contextualized. This is art. This is history. This is a dialogue about what it means to be human, captured in a timeless form. And in this space, you are invited not just to look, but to see. To find the answers, we must travel back in time, leaving our modern world behind. Our journey takes us to ancient Greece, more than 2,000 years ago, to a sun-drenched world of city-states, philosophers, and athletes. This is where the story of these statues and our relationship with the human form in art truly begins. The earliest Greek figures, the Kouros and Kora, were stiff, almost stylized. But as their society evolved, so did their art. They began a relentless pursuit of realism, and then something more. The ideal. For the Greeks, the body was not something to be hidden in shame. It was a vessel of character, a public celebration of life itself. This philosophy was woven into the fabric of their daily lives, most notably in the gymnasium. The word itself comes from the Greek gymnos, meaning naked. Here, citizens trained their bodies and debated philosophy, completely unclothed. It was a powerful expression of the mind and the spirit, united. They believed in kalokagathia, the ideal of a beautiful mind in a beautiful body. A healthy, strong, balanced body reflected a healthy, strong, balanced soul. Sculptors like Polykleitos developed a canon of proportions, a mathematical system for creating the perfect human form, an ideal that transcended any single individual. Their games were religious festivals, glory crowned with a simple olive wreath. The victorious athlete was seen as a hero, favored by the gods. Their bodies, honed by discipline, were a testament to human potential, and these sculptures were created to immortalize that divine perfection. This profound legacy captivated the next great power. Rome copied Greece, adopting the ideal nude and spreading it across an empire that stretched from Britain to Mesopotamia. They mass-produced copies of Greek masterpieces, ensuring their survival. Together, these Greek originals and Roman copies formed the very foundation of classical art, an inheritance that would echo for centuries. For the Greeks, the nude body was a statement of truth. Stripped of social markers, it was humanity in its most essential form. His strength, his health, his potential. Not a specific person, but the ideal citizen. A society that valued physical excellence and moral excellence. Think of the Venus de Milo. Her partial nudity conveys her divine nature, a beauty that transcends the merely physical. The body becomes a language, a visual philosophy. We are invited to see with Greek eyes, past nakedness to the idea behind it. The form is a canvas for their deepest beliefs. Art was also about power, a way of saying, I am not just a ruler, I am like a god. Propaganda written in the language of muscle and marble. Rediscovered in the Renaissance, these stones were a revelation. Adam's body is a direct descendant of the Greek ideal. The Louvre became home to these treasures, symbols of wealth, taste, and power. The meaning of the nude statue became layered. Never just about sex or merely nudity, it is dense and complex. Each decision adds meaning, identity, divinity, humanity. It asks who we are, where we come from, and what we value. Today, we stand in the Louvre, not as ancient citizens, but as visitors in a long, winding line of viewers. We are pilgrims of a different sort, navigating these hallowed halls with a map in one hand and a smartphone in the other, surrounded by the quiet hum of a dozen different languages and the collective weight of centuries. We bring our 21st century eyes trained by the relentless flash of advertisements and the endless scroll of social media. Our attention has been fractured, conditioned for the 30-second clip, the perfectly curated image, the immediate dopamine hit of a like. We are accustomed to consuming images, not contemplating them. And yet, the museum itself, in its very design, invites us to do the opposite. It asks us to slow down, to disconnect from the digital torrent and reconnect with the physical world, to breathe in the cool, still air, to look and then to look again, with a patience our daily lives rarely afford us. The contrast is stark. Here stands a public symbol of civic virtue, an object designed for communal contemplation on the nature of heroism, beauty, and the divine. And here we are, often engaging with it through the private, commercialized gaze of a camera lens, capturing it not for public memory, but for a personal feed. In this space, these statues stand as a bridge between worlds, a silent dialogue between their time and ours. They connect the ancient forum with the modern gallery, the citizen with the tourist. They do not judge our fleeting attention or our impulse to capture and share. They simply wait. They wait for us to look beyond the surface, beyond the stone, and see the ideas they embody. Because the meaning of the body has never been fixed. It is a canvas onto which each culture projects its deepest values and anxieties. It reflects what we cherish, what we fear, and what we aspire to be. They carved their beliefs into stone, their understanding of limits and strengths, of harmony and proportion. They created a physical record of an ideal, a tangible truth that could be seen and understood by all. When we allow ourselves that moment of quiet observation, we realize these works are not about the shock of a naked body, but the profound revelation of a complete person, a person embodying an entire worldview. In the end, it was never about nudity. It was and still is, about humanity.